Protesters from all over the world are fighting APEC, the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. APEC promises prosperity for the Asia-Pacific, with the largest free trade zone in the world. But the majority who live in the region will not be fooled.
This is a way to express our solidarity, and this is a way to begin to destroy APEC before APEC destroys us.
Since we began our work in 1996, we have unmasked globalization for what it is, which is imperialism itself. We have seen the necessity to go beyond APEC, but also to analyze other tools of imperialist globalization, such as NAFTA, the European Union, GATT, WTO, and the impending MEI.
APEC Ramos got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! APEC Ramos got to go!
The conditions described in Mexico, in Chile, and definitely in the Philippines can be repeated, can be duplicated in my mental imagery as to what is happening in Thailand, in Malaysia, in India, in Bangladesh, in the whole of the continent of Africa, Latin America, Central America, etc. So I felt inspired to know what is happening there, and we greet the champions of those resistance struggles.
The People's Movement in the Philippines has organized sustained protests against APEC and other tools of imperialist globalization. In November 1996, the APEC Leaders Summit is held in the Philippines, one of the 18 APEC members. International friends and supporters gather in Manila to junk APEC. Globalization and APEC will only make things worse for Filipinos and people in many third world countries, already on an unequal footing with their industrialized neighbors.
Worldwide from the curbside. International perspective derived from how I struggle locally. Globally, we're becoming a village for the neo-colonialists to pillage and rape. Aid from the US is not the third world escape. Videotape in the Oval Office will prove Clinton's not our hero, but an accomplice to keeping us all hostage to things like APEC, Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, AKA another plot equating co-optation of my nation's resources, my nation's schools, my nation's sisters, and my brothers too. Or how US capitalists grow export wheat on our land once used to grow food for Filipinos to eat, can barely afford meat. Now our folks can't even be vegetarian. That's why we struggle for nationalization of industry and reform of the agrarian in the interest of the peasant masses and dictatorship of the proletariat. Because the Philippines holds a world record for one of the longest revolutions. 400 years of fighting imperialist delusion. But oppression is a global factor. Factories being filled by a corrupt labor contractor. With workers being paid a devaluing piso, naira, peso, Ramos, Salinas, Mobutu, Seku. They're all the running dogs of the capitalist coup, not just against workers, but against students, peasants, indigenous peoples like me and you. So understand the strength and international solidarity. Uphold and carry forward the people's struggle for class parity, because the Philippines' greatest contribution to the end of all people's persecution is a world proletarian strategy and a victorious revolution.
Students were an active part of the APEC protests in Vancouver. During a speakers forum at the University of British Columbia, a student leader is arrested.
Back off. Back off. Back off.
What is this? Back off, crap.
stay out of the thing. You're going to be arrested for obstruction. They simply come up to him and show him some paper and explain some sort of procedure. They simply, when I turned around, they simply grabbed him. They had him on the ground with 3 of them on top of him, wrestling him down there. With a car that had come through here, it was all pre-prepared, very clearly prepared, surrounded with lots of RCMP officers dressed in civilian clothes that made sure that nobody approached. And they came through in high speed, pulled the car. Once they'd wrestled Jaggy, held him on the ground, threw him in the back seat of the car, and took off at high speed through here. I mean, the exact same way that you see death squads operating in other countries. This is our RCMP operating here because he would like to hold a forum where there's free speech, but we don't have free speech here.
I'm just suggesting the idea that we march to the police station here where those people can hear our voice. Because I'm feeling like we need to be doing something more than sitting and having a nice, polite little discussion when someone for speaking out has just been arrested.
Greetings and solidarity to all the students here at the University of British Columbia. We're from the Asian Students Association. We came here as far from the Philippines to join you in your protests against APEC. And we are here also in solidarity. Solidarity is extended also to all students who are fighting in this legitimate protest against this clearly anti-people economic control being instituted by global corporations. We're also here gathered to march in support of our colleague who's been abducted in direct violation of his rights. We are going to march and demand that he be released because there is no legal reason for them to repress legitimate protests in this campus or anywhere else in Canada. Our solidarity towards each other, extended to Jaggy from the APEC alert, is an expression of our support not only for human rights in Canada and in the world, but also in rejection of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. So let us go together, march in unity, and shout, "Free Jaggy! Shout APEC!"
Dragged into a car.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to be upfront with you today too. Is I don't know all the facts.
The people are here charging the RCMP with assault of an activist. That's what we're here for. You're defending yourself, and that's what you're here for.
This is the direction that I gave the members today. I said we don't want to make this a high-profile thing. Hang on.
Too late.
Of course you don't.
We have no intention. Our position is that we are not objecting to Jaggy's being released. Released. We're not. We're going to bring him into court. We're not opposing his release.
When? And what about the release form that says, "I will not be found at any protest until after APEC"? Are you going to make Jaggy sign that?
Okay, that's another issue.
No
conditions. That's up to the court to impose the conditions.
No conditions.
But that's not relating to Jaggy, is it? It's relating to the other.
I think we should stop dialoguing with Staff Sergeant Plant. Actually, Jaggy Singh himself, in an article in the UBC, said directly, Staff Sergeant Plant is a liar. He's lied about other things, and he's lying about this. This is a trumped-up charge. We should continue with our day's events, continue with our demonstrations. This is an effort at intimidation. We feel strongly about Jaggy. I feel emotionally about this personally. He's one of my very close friends. I think it's important to put it in context, take it for a political arrest, which is exactly what it is, continue with our plan of events and not be intimidated, and oppose APEC in the strongest possible terms that we can.
What do you make of all of this that happened today?
Well, I think it's a typical pattern from what we've seen in the last few years, that alongside APEC goes repression, and it takes various forms in different places. But they are obviously insecure enough about APEC. This isn't just the security of the leaders they're concerned about, it's the security of the idea and concept of APEC. And that's what's being attacked by these students here, and that's what's led to the arrest of the leader.
Jump, jump, APEC! 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 Jump, jump, APEC!
called globalization today means only two things. Very simply. Global attack on the working people. Can we agree on that? Yes. Global attack on the, it's a globalization. It's a global, they don't discriminate. They don't discriminate. You may be white-skinned, Anglo-Saxon, good old Yankee American, but you are not good enough for me to make my profits. Right? They don't discriminate. It's a globalized attack on the working people and global pursuit of capital. And global pursuit of capital for cheap labor, resources, and markets. American multinationals, American-based companies are telling other American companies, come on, give us the money so that we can help Clinton, so that America can benefit. Nation state, my friends, is not bad. Nation state is alive. Multinationals may be multinationals, but they are rooted in nation states, and the real rivalry is not so much between multinationals. The rivalry is between imperialistic powers which are trying to carve out the globe one more time, redivide the world one more time. That is exactly what is going on right now.
We are here to protest the coming of Ramos to Canada, to continue to sell our nation, our homeland, the Philippines, and we have a statement for being here today.
Back up truck,
Yeah, that's all we're asking. We have a right to.
You sure do. Yes, you do.
No, I want to talk to you. Is there any spokesman?
She's from City Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
What actually is it? So that I can bring it up to the attention of the president. By the way, I'm Ambassador Boko. I'm the Philippine ambassador to Canada.
Yeah, nice
so anything that you might, so that I can bring it to the attention of the president. It's very difficult for us to be shouting. The best thing for us is to get a forum so that you can. Okay, now you address the concern to me, and I will make a special trip here to Vancouver, Range meeting, and then I can come here and meet with you. Because President Ramos saw to it that there is a law that should provide for the alleviation of the condition so that there will be quality, the improvement of the quality of life of Filipinos. Okay, we cannot arrive at something that we will be shouting.
Completely lies. Stop the labor export policy.
I want to meet with you.
Stop the labor export policy. We want to stay Filipinos in the Philippines.
I'll give you my card. Okay? Write to me. I'll make a special trip here so that I can. But make sure the same people will be there.
Gusto namin wala nang lalabas bilang domestic workers sa Pilipinas. Wala nang servan. Ayaw na namin ng alipin. Kailan pa kami nagkakaalipin?
That's why yung mga grievances ninyo.
Marami nang namamatay. Makinig na kayo sa amin. Okay?
Okay. Sige.
Makinig na kayo sa amin.
Kayo pumunta sa
Kaya you let me know. You let me know when.
You know so many months ago.
No, you let me know when.
Kayo mismo.
Okay, I will see
Sabi nyo, may concern kayo. Where is your concern? Where is your concern?
Vamos, tuta, dictador fascista! lucha, dictador fascista. Dictador fascista. Vamos, lucha, dictador fascista.
Do you have accreditation to be here, man? It's best that you, okay? If you don't have APEC accreditation, media accreditation, then you have to jump on the sidewalk. Okay? Thank you.
After almost a week of anti-APEC activities, protesters get ready to take to the streets of Vancouver to voice their outrage in a final demonstration.
We sympathize with the countries from other nations who are being killed, trying to hang on to their culture. And we pray for them, and we pray that we'll get our own culture back. I would say to you that in our legends, they talk about the 4 races that will come back together. And we are seeing the earth sick and dying because of corporate greed. That is wrong.
I just wanted to let you know how much shit that we have to go through, the amount of money that is being spent on the police department to take care of the people from the APECers, the dictators. Meanwhile, the police department is not watching over the regular people like us. So, junk,
We should be proud of the resistance which we have shown today because it is representative, again, of the national liberation and social movements which are advancing throughout the world. But we have an important task. The APEC Leaders Summit may have come to an end today, but we must continue our educating, our organizing, and our political work against imperialist globalization. We have to commit to the further struggle so we can advance the people's rights, we can advance the people's struggle internationally against imperialism. So I call on all of you. You have come out today to take a stand against APEC, to take a stand with the people, and we hope that we will continue to do that as the years and the struggle continues against APEC and imperialist globalization.
Now gather round, people.